This is A World Gone Mad, Season 2, Episode 80. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf, and I give my commentary on national and world news and politics. Have I got news for you? And I'm going to steal something from Rachel Maddow. All the news events today, I'm going to use her phrase, is basically crap on steroids. Thank you, Rachel. I'm going to borrow that phrase, crap on steroids. This is not your grandmother's Easter egg roll. The White House seeks corporate sponsorships for the Easter event. The White House, through an outside event production company called Harbinger, is soliciting corporate sponsors for this year's Easter egg roll. Yeah, seriously. Which is prompting major concerns from ethics experts and shock from former White House officials from both parties. The sponsorship offers range from $75,000 to $200,000 with the promise of logo and branding opportunities. According to a 9-page document sent to potential sponsors and obtained by CNN, logo and branding opportunities. I kid you not. The egg roll, which began during the Rutherford B. Hayes administration in 1878, has long been privately funded without taxpayer dollars, largely through the American Egg Board, which has provided tens of thousands of eggs for each occasion. And all money raised by Harbinger will go to the White House Historical Association. But the solicitation for sponsorships marks an unprecedented offering of corporate branding opportunities on White House grounds, running counter to long-established regulations prohibiting the use of public office for private gain. Sponsors of Weir White House Easter Egg Roll provide financial support, activities, and giveaways to enhance the event while gaining valuable brand visibility and national recognition, reads the document. Valuable brand visibility and national recognition. Think about this. This is the Easter egg roll for kids, done annually on the White House lawn. But wait, it gets weirder. Among the offerings for prospective sponsors, naming rights for key elements and areas, sponsor logos featured on event signage, custom branded baskets, snacks, beverages, or souvenirs, mentions in official event communications and social media posts, acknowledgement in printed or digital event programs, and inclusion in press releases and media interviews. Sponsors can also gain access to an invite-only brunch hosted inside the White House by FLOTUS, tickets to the event, and a private White House tour. If you are listening right now and you're not as stunned, amazed, completely laughing your ass off, but mainly angry at how con artists grab the money, shove it into my bank account this is, then you're not paying attention. Logos branded on the Easter baskets that the little kids use to pick up the eggs during the Easter roll on the White House lawn. How completely disgusting, disreputable, and ludicrous this is. And this needs to be looked into ASAP and stopped. The White House is not for sale, but under Donald, everything has a price. Pam Bondi warns Jasmine Crockett to tread very carefully in what she says about Elon Musk. Attorney General Pam Bondi warned Representative Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas, on Sunday, "You better tread very carefully," following the lawmaker's recent remarks voicing support for Elon Musk to be taken down. She is an elected public official, so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk, and we're going to fight to protect all of the Tesla owners throughout this country, Bondi said during an appearance on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures. The warning comes days after the Democrats spoke at a virtual rally held for the Tesla takedown movement, a group rallying against Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to bulldoze the federal bureaucracy through boycotts and demonstrations at Tesla properties. The coalition is organizing 500 demonstrations March 29th at Tesla locations across the country. On March 29th, it's my birthday, and all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down, Crockett said during her remarks. I have learned as I serve on the Doge Oversight Committee that there is only one language that the people that are in charge understand right now, and that language is money. Bondi tells Crockett, tread very carefully. Nothing is happening to Elon, and we're going to protect Tesla owners? What happened to protecting the American citizens, Pam? Attorney General, you, madam, are a piss-poor choice for this high position, and you are not here, even though you think you are, to be the chief legal authority in the government and in the United States to protect Donald Trump. You cannot be used as a weapon of mass destruction. Illegal, irresponsible, completely whacked out, your threat to Jasmine Crockett. The administration says signal messages sent to Atlantic editor about the attack on the Houthis appear to be authentic. The Trump administration said that signal messages sent to Jeffrey Goldberg of the Atlantic magazine as part of a group chat regarding military strikes in Yemen appear to be authentic. The messages, according to an article by Goldberg published today, made him aware that an attack might be coming 2 hours before the bombs dropped on Houthi rebel targets in Yemen. This appears to be an authentic message chain. We are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain. The thread is a demonstration of the deep and thoughtful policy coordination between senior officials. The ongoing success of the Houthi operation demonstrates that there were no threats to troops or national security, Brian Hughes, National Security Council spokesperson, said in a statement to CNN. Vice President J.D. Vance, according to a user in the chat with his name, raised uncertainty that President Donald Trump was aware of how strikes on the Houthi rebels would be inconsistent with messaging on Europe. I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There's a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. I am willing to support the consensus of the team, keep these concerns to myself, but there is a strong argument for delaying this a month, doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc., the Vance account wrote in the Signal group chat, according to The Atlantic. Now, William Martin, communications director to the vice president, said in a statement to CNN, the vice president's first priority is always making sure that the president's advisors are adequately briefing him on the substance of their internal deliberations. Vice President Vance unequivocally supports this administration's foreign policy. The president and the vice president have had subsequent conversations about this matter and are in complete agreement. So messages about the Houthi attack was supposedly connected to the Atlantic magazine editor, unbeknownst to the administration and the people in that Signal chat group. Now, if this is true, although Pete Hegseth denies this, this is massive incompetence, or as Rachel said, crap on steroids. And 70+ million people wanted to trust Donald the delusional one and the people he chose to be in charge of his departments to the security and protection of our country and the citizens who live here. Please pass me a double scotch. Make sure my Glock is loaded with extra ammo, because we are so screwed right now by Donald and Elon and Hegseth and Rubio et al. Cabinet members tout cost-cutting efforts as Trump claims government is riddled with fat. Members of President Donald Trump's cabinet touted a wide array of cuts from their respective agencies during a meeting with Trump and Department of Government Efficiency head Elon Musk at the White House Monday. I don't want to say we're doing it to make America great again, Trump said, because I say that on the campaign trail, but there's really no other words that could express it better than that, the president stated in a cabinet room Monday. Our country was riddled with fat, like no country, probably anywhere in the world, and we're getting rid of the fat. Members of the cabinet, including Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins, Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin outlined efforts targeting what they described as wasteful spending, including surveys conducted through the Interior Department, urban farming programs for LGBTQ+, farmers under agriculture, and a $2 billion EPA grant for energy-efficient housing projects. It's a pure fraud. We like to use the words waste and abuse because they sort of sound good, but many of these things are pure fraud, Trump claimed. Much of the funding projects targeted by the administration have inspired the ire of conservatives. Trump and the secretaries on Monday did not provide any evidence of fraud. Still, during Monday's meeting, Attorney General Pam Bondi, there she is again, pledged that the DOJ would prosecute any fraud discovered as part of DOJ's efforts. Elon, thank you for your partnership, Bondi said. You have uncovered so much fraud in our government, and we will prosecute you. We have an internal task force now working with every agency sitting here at this table. And if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you, Bondi said. Wake up, everyone. The Gestapo is coming for us. Doge, D-O-G-E, Donald's oligarchy, Gestapo enforcement. What fraud? Prove it. I want to see hardcore evidence, everyone. Trump announces that any country that purchases oil or gas from Venezuela will be subject to a 25% tariff. Here we go again. President Donald Trump announced on Monday that the U.S. will impose what he called a secondary tariff on Venezuela, explaining that any country that purchases oil or gas from Venezuela will be subject to a 25% tariff on trade with the United States. The president claimed Venezuela has been sending criminals, including violent individuals and members of gangs like Tren de Agua, into the U.S. The United States of America will be putting what is known as a secondary tariff on the country of Venezuela for numerous reasons, including the fact that Venezuela has purposefully and deceitfully sent to the United States undercover tens of thousands of high-level and other criminals, many of whom are murderers and people of a very violent nature, Trump wrote in a Truth Social post. In his post, Trump also noted that this tariff will take effect on April 2nd, 2025, which he has referred to as Liberation Day in America multiple times since taking office. Here we go. Donald swinging his genitals back and forth, looking big when he really isn't. Again, repetitive from me. Prove it. Show it to Congress. Get us the facts. Don't make shit up just to look good to American citizens. We need to hold Donald and Elon and his group accountable. Do you hear me, Republicans? Do your frigging job. And another thing that happened today, this morning, terminated Department of Education workers will enter their workspaces where they will have 30 minutes to collect their belongings. The move follows President Donald Trump's executive order to begin dismantling the department, and that took place today. You know, the only thing I can think of when I read something or hear something like this is the inmates took over the asylum. I know it's a cliche statement, but that's how I feel. Yay, we all got keys, and our chains are off, and we're in charge, and we could do whatever the fuck we want to do. This is rampant chaos, and we are living in a bizarro world with Donald the King. A judge says Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemies Act. During the debate over the Alien Enemies Act, Judge Patricia Millett said the people deported from the U.S. under President Donald Trump's declaration had no opportunity to challenge the removal or the government's allegation that they're members of a Venezuelan gang before planes took them out of the country on March 15th. There were plane loads of people. There were no procedures in place to notify people, Judge Millett said. Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemies Act. And the DOJ attorney for Donald, Drew Ensign, replied, "Well, Your Honor, we certainly dispute the Nazi analogy." The hearing is ongoing. Look, I understand why you, the listeners, are disgusted and you want to tune out sometimes, because this is overwhelming bullshit from Donald. But please don't tune out. I told you before, and this is what I ask of all of you. Take your news each day in small doses. Don't try to swallow all the news at once. You will choke on all the bile. And finally, billionaire Trump official says missing Social Security checks are no big deal. Howard Lutnick suggested that anyone who would actually complain about a missing benefit check is a fraudster. Howard Lutnick, Donald Trump's billionaire commerce secretary, suggested on a podcast this week that missing your Social Security check for the month isn't a big deal, and that only a fraudster would actually complain if their monthly benefit check didn't come in the mail. Let's say Social Security didn't send out their checks this month, Lutnick said on All In podcast. My mother-in-law is 94. She wouldn't call and complain. She just wouldn't. She would think something got messed up, and she'll get it next month. A fraudster always makes the loudest noise, screaming, yelling, and complaining. The easiest way to find a fraudster, Lutnick said, is to stop payments and listen. Whoever screamed is the one stealing. Lutnick's comments come as Elon Musk and his minions from the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, have invaded the Social Security Administration, implementing big changes and leading Americans to worry that their benefits could be in danger. What the bloody hell? Now I'm beyond pissed, but I want to say the first thing to Howard Lutnick. If your mother-in-law missed a Social Security check, you asshole, she wouldn't care because she has you to back up on. You're a billionaire. So let's get a little real, okay? I have never heard anybody say something so ludicrous as what Lutnick said. I can't speak for everyone, but I can tell you my friends and family who, if a Social Security check was not sent, missed for that month, they would be in an incredibly difficult moment. They would be hurt tremendously. People that I've talked with personally and through my podcast, they have told me they're deciding between medical scripts and food. And Schmuckball Lutnick says if these people complained, then they must be fraudsters of the system. What Twilight Zone world is Lutnick living in? These people need to be hauled off in chains. They are running these departments, and they don't give a damn about any single one of us. And it's heartbreaking. And we're not even more than 3 months into Donald the King's reign of terror. Damn it, Democratic leadership. Get in the face of the Republican senators and congressmen and women and yell at them to get off their asses and do the right thing. Day by day, hour by hour, piece by piece, America, one brick at a time, is being removed and thrown into the garbage dump. If you care to comment about anything in this episode, or even to just say hello, it would be nice to hear from some of you. wolfpacklistener@gmail.com, 833-399-9653, toll-free voicemail box, or leave me a comment on Blue Sky. And please check out my Substack. I restarted that again. You can find it on Substack. Look up under Jeff Allen Wolf, The Wolf's Den. Or you can contact me, and I'll send you a direct link to make it easier for you. And please, if you listen to my podcast on Spotify or Apple, please subscribe. Leave a rating and a comment. That helps me in the rankings of podcasts. I'll be back again in 2 days. This is a world gone mad. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf, and without your comments, feedback, and engagement, I'm sitting in a room talking to myself. Stay hopeful.